Would you like to support Cubs Out Loud? One way is to join us over on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, patrons get early access to our shows, the pre- and post-show, and various other rewards. You can learn more at patreon.com/CubsOutLoud. Thanks to all our patrons for their support in making this podcast. It's Sunday, November 9th, 2025. I'm Jeff.
Who's your bear? That's right. I am your bear.
I'm Damon.
I don't brew the tea, I just serve it.
And that makes me Gary.
Everyone else is thinking it, and I just say it.
Welcome to Cubs Out Loud, the Bear Podcast for the Determined Length, episode number 805. And I don't think we have a singer for this, so. Do we? Did we? I don't know. It's been a while.
No.
It's time for a... This, that, or other. This time we're actually following that verbology.
Turning a new leaf in the end of 2025.
Here we go.
Gary, what are we this, that, or othering, and why?
So it's the 2025 Cozy Edition because, as we were discussing in the pre-show, the weather is changing.
Would you say the weather outside is frightful?
But outside is frightful.
No, I did not say that. I did not. I just said the weather is changing. How dare you?
I mean, but the fire is so delightful.
We'll get to that. But yeah, so the weather has started to cool. The leaves are changing colors. In fact, depending on where you are in the country, here in the Northeast region especially, you may not have many leaves left, or some leaves, depending on the circumstances. But they are a fallen in certain regions. So we're going to consider what we want in terms of ranking for this, that, or other. We've got just a handful of categories of things for the Cozy Edition that we like. And so, it's that time of year. With the weather changing, I've already caught that I'm just not motivated to want to do things or, really kind of.
Where are you at? There you are.
Take a lot of do a lot of stuff, which is actually becoming a little bit of a struggle because I'm like, oh no, we have months to go. Like, we have to get through the
It's not even winter yet, dear. It ain't even winter yet.
I know, and then we have to get through the beginning of next year. So I'm like, yeah, I understand snowbirds and how they're like, they want to be someplace else that's warm and sunny and comfortable. So
fuck this shit, I'm out. Just like boom. I get it.
You know what I have to say about that? Fuck that shit. Keep me in the cold. I could always put more stuff on. Having lived for over a decade down in Texas.
I mean, you're enjoying this.
Oh,
that's
except
great.
Now that
good for you.
Except now that I'm in my mid 40s and my body is reacting to the weather, and not in ways that are joyful.
No, that's also very true. Like, so, hey, all, we talked about this a little bit ago. We are some daddy pups, shit.
Daddy pups,
dad cubs now, and we're up there in ages, and oh, hey, like, knees are still like I knees and backs and everything else, and the weather and the arthritis and whatever. It's crazy, crazy. I'm not loving it. Mm-mm. Nope, nope, nope.
In any case.
So let's dive into our first category called extra layers. So the choices are flannel sheets, flannel pajamas, or a fleece hoodie. So the idea is if you're gonna like get comfy, get cozy, and get warm, of these, what are your preferences?
Right.
And I mean, in theory, you pick one, but we can do whatever we want.
Right.
So I can
Right.
understand
Right.
people like picking multiples.
Well, while we go in
Am I
order
going
that it
first?
is on the sheet, Damon.
Yeah,
Sure.
I just put it in alpha order.
Sure. So I'll go first. I chose of the three. I chose hoodie. If you know me or you see me on the show right now, I like a hoodie. I love like a throw something on and I'm usually a preferable of a zip up than a pullover, but I don't mind a pullover if I need to. I have a couple,
Mm.
but it's just comfortable. Kind of what Jeff is doing. I love to put a hood over my head. That's good enough for me to like keep my head warm. Um, I've recently been traveling, and I went to Chicago, and then I went to um, I went to Chicago, and then I went to DC, the Maryland DC area, and having a hoodie like was great. It was perfect. Um, I had my when I went to DC, I had like my leather jacket too, but that was for like it got kind of I knew it was getting colder there, but um, I was really happy when I was in Chicago and the temperature just suddenly shifted because it's near the lake. Um, it suddenly shifted from Saturday to Sunday, like by like 10, 15 degrees. And I'm like so glad I had the hoodie because it helped. I packed layers intentionally for that reason. So I'm a hoodie person. And a fleece hoodie, especially like two, I have one that I took to Chicago 2 years ago. No, yeah, 2 years ago. For an event, and I'm so glad I did because again, it's perfect. And most of the time, not collapsible, but foldable. I can put it in someplace and like throw it in a bag and be good for the day, and have it out of place if I'm at like an event or a space where I don't have a lot of room. Yeah,
Nice.
Gary.
Um, so despite the fact that all three of us are wearing hoodies today, I unironically, in this case, my preference is flannel sheets.
Mm.
And that's because I just put flannel sheets on my bed about 2 weeks ago because regular like sheets, summer sheets, um, are just not cutting it. I need something
Mm.
to retain my body temperature. I get cold easily, so I want to be warm. And there is nothing, hardly anything. I don't know if I want to say nothing now. Hardly anything in the world as pleasurable as crawling into a warm bed with nice flannel sheets against your skin. Maybe if there was
Mhm.
another person in the bed, that'd be okay too. Um, but it's like one of my personal pleasures. Like, and I've had flannel pajamas, flannel pajama bottoms. They're okay. I will say this: they don't go with flannel sheets.
Are you just like
If you've
It's
ever,
it's friction,
well,
too friction.
if you've ever tried, it's like hook and loop. Those two surfaces just love to like grab each other. So just it's kind of not a thing.
Velcro? Not a
Yeah.
good thing.
So I feel
Right.
like if you're going to do flannel pajamas, then you don't have the sheets or vice versa. Or maybe you're into that and you want to do both and just struggle and fight, and that's up to you.
I'm good.
Or what you could do is have like a regular sheet and then have flannel sheet over it.
You could.
Fair.
So
I
you
mean,
basically,
the
instead of
reality is-
replacing the type of sheet, you add. It's an extra layer.
You could. You could also wear the flannel pajamas around the house and then just take them off before you climb into bed.
Mhm.
Cool.
That's true because
Jeff, how about
it's not
you?
like I'm wearing clothes when I go to bed. Anyways,
He's showing his ass. We're on TikTok. Not TikTok.
Oh my.
We're on the YouTube.
no, I'm just saying. I'm just showing instead of telling. I like my flannel, not necessarily PJs. I'm not going to put it there. It's more like lounge pants.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not one who really has a specific pajama top, but I'll take the flannel bottoms. But I'm more of a flannel pajamas guy.
Got it.
Of these, one of the additional reasons, one, because I realized when looking at this, I was literally wearing these as I was looking at the list. And I'm like,
Right.
oh yeah, it's the PJs of these three PJs. The hoodie I'm wearing is not fleece. The sheets I
Right.
have on my bed are not flannel. In fact, I don't have any flannel sheets at this time. At one point in time, I did have flannel sheets.
Yeah.
But that was a long time ago and several beds ago. Maybe it was only
we
2,
have-
but that's beside the point.
We do have flannel.
Yeah. So
I think we-
so it's really interesting. All three of us chose a different one.
Yeah.
Nice little variety. So I would like to put in some honorable mentions of not listed here.
Uh-oh.
Fleece blanket. In
Mhm.
fact, I have fleece blankets. Got a couple of fleece throws. That's not fleece.
David grabs.
I don't know
his.
what that
I've
is,
got
but it's
two.
not
It's
fleece.
just outside of arm's length in my office.
It is fleece, actually.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense.
It's not flannel, but it is fleece.
That's what I'm
Or
saying.
if you're talking about like,
The difference
The
is
Sherpa.
these are fleece blankets.
yeah,
Right.
This is actually
Yeah.
a king size one. This is the only blanket I brought from Austin. I had this and I'm like, I love this so much. I am not leaving this behind.
nice.
This is
Yeah,
a king size and I don't even have a king size bed anymore.
Hey, it
Listen,
works.
no. Nope.
Throws.
Listen up. I'm going to say this. When it comes to throws, like a big blanket, if you have like a twin or a full or a queen, there is nothing wrong with getting the bigger size.
Oh yeah, totally.
I'm just going to say, like, I have a queen size bed, and there have been many times where I'm like, I got a fleece throw that I have on my bed, and I'm like, I really should have gotten the king.
Right.
And I'm by myself. I'm
You
not
always go
even
big.
like playing blanket war with
This
a
is-
partner in the bed right now. So
yeah. I mean, just by yourself, you get the king size. You don't go smaller.
Ah,
I mean,
there's that one.
I asked for some fleece throws for my couch, and then I realized that no, I don't want a fleece throw for my couch. I just want an entire bed blanket for my couch, so I could wrap myself in it 1 or 2 times,
Right.
and just kind of like completely cover myself in fleece. And for some reason, to me, it feels better than flannel. IMHO.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to
It's
be
good to
like
be covered.
super toasty warm now that I brought this over here, and I'm just like laying the big one on my back and
Yeah.
another one across it. I'm wearing a sweatshirt. I'm just going to be the embodiment of
Roasty
cozy
toasty.
right now.
Roasty toasty.
Anyways, moving on.
All right. Next category is food in bowls, as opposed to plates or cups or whatever. um, so the choices are chili or soup or stew.
Mm.
So a holdable container, I'm thinking of visually like in both hands that you can have, yes, to be warm,
Not
cozy,
this kind of ball. This is plastic, but
Yeah,
but
that's what you had to do.
presumably a hot beverage, not beverage, a hot dish of some kind that would be in a
Mhm.
bowl.
Right.
And these are kind of things that you would think of at this time of year, most likely. So, David, we'll go back to you again. What's your preference?
So of the three choices, and this was a close race, I will own, because I like all three for different reasons.
Mhm.
Like,
Agreed.
but I ended up going with stew. Um, I am not a soup for dinner kind of person. Jim knows this. I am not a like, let's have soup. No, soup is a side or an appetizer or something like that. It's not meant to be the whole meal. Now a stew, that's a meal. A stew to me is a meal. A chili can even be a meal, not Cincinnati chili. You know I'm from
No,
here.
no,
I'm not from here.
that's not real chili.
No, no, no. Yeah, yeah.
That's
But
like chili
anyway,
dog-ish type chili.
yeah, yeah. For anyone who Cincinnati, it's a long, complicated story that I know what it is. Whatever. Anyway, stew. I prefer a stew like a hearty like beef stew or a like I want something with, and this is gonna sound bad, like with a meat and a simmered flavor or slow roasted flavor. My favorite is beef stew. I love beef stew.
Mhm.
Say that much.
Hmm.
Um, the close second was chili for me because I love a chili. But not the shit, not shit, not the Cincinnati chili shit, but like a hearty chili. And then, but the I when I saw soup and we're thinking more cozy and fall, I was thinking of like a squash soup or um it just left my head. I was gonna say pumpkin, but that's not quite what I mean. Like kind of a root vegetable kind of soup. Yeah. But yeah. Stew for me.
Okay.
Gary.
Um, I agree that these are like kind of close as far as like
Mhm.
categories.
Mm-hmm.
I love all three. This is really mood dependent, but I will say that for me right now, it's got to be chili.
Mm.
Um, in the past couple weeks, I have gotten Wendy's chili for lunch explicitly because it's the weather, it's changing, and it's the
Yeah.
only freaking place I know of that I could just go get some. Like,
Right.
like no one really carries soup anymore as like
Fair.
as a dish, like unless you go into like a sit down restaurant, and I don't have enough time for that
Nara?
with work. So,
Right.
eh,
Panera. True. But still,
true.
even then though. But
There's
no
only
offense. But no offense. Like I don't want to spend like $6-7 for a cup of soup. Like I'm just gonna own that. Or
That's
even
fair.
more. I don't
That's
know how
fair.
much it
That's
is
fair.
now.
It's totally
Like
fair.
I don't even know. But like I remember because um Panera has a I think butternut squash soup. And I fell in love with that because there used to be a Panera around the corner from me. And I fell in love with that soup and I loved it and I would get it like all especially when fall hit. And but like spending the money to do it was a little much. Love you, Panera, but no.
That's fair.
yeah. There's only two Paneras I think here, and
Mm,
so they're a bit busy. So I never really think of going to them because whenever I think that thought occurs to me, it's mealtime, and I'm like, nope, I'm not mucking around with crowd and waiting and yes, I know they have an app and there's a drive-through at the one, but the one near me, but it's no.
Yeah, I get it. It's about getting it and going. That's the whole idea. And if it's going to be busy, you don't want to fuss with that. I get it. Jeff?
Well, actually, this whole idea really started in Minnesota, where I grew up. My mom would make it in a crock pot, chili.
Mm.
There's this, and I think it's because, one, I'm a huge fan of very tomatoey things. Like tomato is
Okay.
like one of my favorite vegetables / fruits because it's technically a fruit, but culinarily a vegetable.
Right.
I just love tomatoes. And a big bowl of red. Notice that, like the Cincinnati chili or the chilies you get on chili dogs, they're not red. They're very, very beefy colored. If your chili is not red, it's not real chili. It's not like the actual dish. It is a chili sauce. So chili. And it's great to just get a pound of beef, get a couple of cans of beans, a couple of cans of diced tomatoes, a little tomato sauce, some chili powder, get a little heat in there, maybe throw in some green chilies or jalapenos, diced jalapenos. It's just, and it's thick. It's like how I like my men, thick.
I knew that line was coming. I just
THICC. I like them thick. And it's just like
question
being
is,
able.
Jeff, do you want your chili to have gray hair?
Ew, no.
No, I don't have a daddy fetish. Anyway.
Nice.
But it's just a delightful, and it just like everybody else, I like the others. Like one of my favorite like comfort meals is grilled cheese and tomato soup. Again, there we go with the tomato again. With chili, you can just like put some sour cream in there and top it with and a bunch of shredded cheddar cheese and just mix it up. And,
Yeah.
so good. And I do like me a good beef stew, for sure.
Yeah.
Beef stew is great. It has more vegetables than chili normally does. I do like me some taco soup.
Yeah.
Which in some sense is kind of like a thin chili with corn.
Yeah.
But
and that was where my brain went to. The idea of like soup. The thing with soup usually, like when I think of chili, I think of one thing. And I know that there's multiple different things, but with soup, there's so much variety potentially there. That's why I was like, oh wow, that would be really, that's a hard press.
Well, even with chilies, you can still make different types of chilies and still be a chili. Like actually my favorite was a recipe I found on allrecipes.com called Italian style chili, where one of the ingredients is a big old jar of spaghetti sauce, like the 4-cheese or the multi-cheese spaghetti sauce. and it's my favorite to make. Even part of the recipe is actually throwing in some pepperoni. Unfortunately, I can't find any place which sells like pre-diced pepperoni, where it's like the little pepperoni dices instead of slices.
The cubes.
Yeah. So usually I end up going with the mini salad pepperonis that Hormel makes and some others make, which works just as fine. And that doesn't just add that little bit of extra meaty flavor to it. It also seasons because it's a type of sausage.
Right.
And you can do a lot with the different types of chilies and eat it in different ways.
Yeah.
I've instead of eating it with a spoon, I actually just got a big old bag of Frito scoops and just used the scoops as my spoon. It was delicious. So, yeah, but stews aren't thick. They're meaty. They're more of the solid content to it than just a regular soup, like a minestrone or something that might still have pieces in it. But soups are pure liquid. If it's getting too thick, it's no longer a soup. It's a sauce. Maybe getting closer to a chili, but chili has a very distinct flavor. Anyways. Speaking of which, did you know you could get soup and chili bowls in the Arzezel store?
Can't.
Yeah, that reminds me. I should get the chili bowl. I got the soup bowl, but I don't have the chili bowl. And actually, that soup bowl is like soup mug, giant soup mug. It's great. So like those times when you want a soup and just one of those things where you just kind of hold it in your hand and you sip it. Well, this actually has like a little handle on it. It's great. Anyways, moving on.
All right. Next category is heat source. And no, a man is not on the list. Options are to choose from electric blanket, fireplace, or hot tub / soak. And the reason why I put soak was because I realized not everyone has a hot tub or access to one. So you might do a hot bath type soak.
Right.
As a possibility. Damon?
So I went with the electric blanket, and that's only because that's the one out of the options that I would choose, I had to choose. So this one, okay. Hey, everybody. I have issues with heat. If I get too hot, my body does things. So soaking in a hot tub or soaking in a bath or anything like that can sometimes not work for me. I can do them, and they are wonderful, but after a certain point, my body's like, nope, and we got to get out. Fireplace, kind of a similar thing. Me in proximity to a open flame is always harsh. Insert flaming queen joke here. And then, sorry. And then electric blanket is sort of the third option, and it's the one I probably would go for. Kind of similar to what we were just talking about with like fleeces and what have you. Having like a electric blanket to add a little bit of warmth is always good, and you can always just quickly turn it off.
And some of them have adjustable controls too. So
also that too, yeah. You can keep it kind of low. Like I had the heater on earlier and I had to turn it off because it's down here and it's getting nice and warm on my abs and such. And it was getting to the point where it's like, okay, I probably need to cool down, as it were, for a little bit. So yeah, that for me is my go-to. Now, I won't turn down like a fireplace, a hot tub, or a soak. I just um, know that it's probably not going to be a long time commitment. Um,
The occasional
so
fireplace, the occasional hot tub. But
yeah, I think every little bit here and there will be good.
I mean, it's about favorites.
And I
It's
think
not necessarily that you don't like the rest. It's
right,
what's at the top of the list.
right. Gary,
Um, so I hear you. Like, and actually, I like all three of these items. However, I'm an absolute brat about my choice, and I will not turn it down if it's ever an option, and I think it's prudent at that time. Um, because I'm a water sign, and I love being comfortable. And unlike Damon, I have not really ever had too many issues with a nice long soak. So if there's a hot tub, I am totally interested.
yeah,
Um, there is something about being enveloped in warm water that just hits it for me. So like if I go to a um, hotel and they have a pool and a hot tub, you will never find me in the pool. I will probably get into the hot tub if I show up and do anything. That said, if there are lots of people and or children, I will probably not be in the hot tub because to me a hot tub is relaxing.
right.
And like I don't go to the hot tub to chit chat, especially with complete strangers. Um or be bothered with like screaming children or whatever. You know what I mean? So like yeah. And as we
Yeah,
know, at bear runs, if there is a hot tub, eventually bear soup happens. So
right.
for me, either I get in it early before things begin, like before the event even kicks off, so I can actually have some chance to enjoy it, or I'm probably not doing it at all because it gonna get funky. Um, just it you have to have seen the experience to know. David and I have infamously been at an event where it has gotten just downright gross. Um,
Mhm.
so God
It is.
bless the technicians who have to clean up.
Yeah. It's so, and maybe that's part. No, yeah, that's probably part of it too. Why I'm not as invested, because like again, experiencing and seeing things, especially at the bear runs, and seeing the. And I know it's not like always the people. I think it's just the number of people.
Hmm.
Because again, a public space they have to attribute for the most, and they do what they can. But if a whole bunch of people are using the tub constantly, and there's not time to like go through a cleaning or something along those lines, then it tends to get a little bad, and not fun. And see, like Gary said, seeing the aftermath, or not even the aftermath, but like the mid-math of it, of it, um, um, yeah, I'm good. I'm kind of would be the sometimes I could be a little like I was in that. Ew. Um, um, so normally I've done it a couple of times at NAB. That's not the run we're talking about in particular, but like there were other runs where I'm like, I think I'm just going to avoid this area for the run, like the whole area, be good. And NAB's one is usually there. It's larger, but because of it being larger, more people tend to use it, and that kind of adds to the adverse effect. So
Hmm.
earlier, I think I agree with you, Gary. I'd probably go earlier than later, just to get it out of my system if I absolutely had to.
Fair.
Jeff.
So, as everybody knows, I am a Earth sign. And so my choice is a hot tub.
Shut up, bitch.
I actually didn't know. I had to do a Google search just now.
Ah,
To be
well, I'm
like,
off. Like Gary and I are both Scorpios, so we're water signs. So, and again,
I don't know what element any of the signs are. I didn't pay any attention to the zodiac.
well, I know mine. That
But-
I'll own that. I know mine. I
Yeah.
think I know
Yeah, that's fine.
Jim.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to crack
I
the joke because
agree
I thought it was
with
funny.
Damon. No, and I will say this, like, I don't know. I don't put any bearing into astrology or what the signs mean. I'm just saying, like, I know that's a thing for me, to David's point, like, as a Scorpion. So that's all I attributed to.
Anyways,
Whatever.
yeah, it was kind of, I was just.
But
trying
you
to
like
crack-
hot tubs.
Yeah, I like hot tubs. I like water. I like warm water and just. I mean, because I don't really get around a hot tub very often. Just even just a long hot shower.
Yeah.
Where I can just, even if I'm not in my bath, because most of the time I don't have a plug for my bathtub anyways to do that. And also bathtubs are usually way too small for me. I need space. That's why I specifically say a hot tub, or a jacuzzi or whatever you want to call it. Just being able to have that space, it would just be like, you have a hot tub. Oh, let's get naked and jump in, make out, and have a whole bunch of fun. Just it's something about hot water is just cozy to me. And like you guys said, the other two perfectly fine. One thing why I wouldn't do the electric blanket as much would be because you got to plug those things in.
Yeah.
And it's very restrictive. Fireplace, a little too much work to put in, and also you have to have one. A lot of cleaning and such. I mean, the hot tub's got a lot of cleaning too, but there's just something about
Yeah,
just
for
a
sure.
big old tub of water that you can just
Right.
kind of relax and stretch out in and just get enveloped. I think it's
Yeah.
I think that goes along more my how I really like sensations. Like the
Right.
others is just heat. This one you would have that element of water and it provides an additional or different type of sensation.
Yeah.
Which I find very soothing and cozy. So I'm a hot tub guy.
Yeah. 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 I will give an honorable mention, kind of to kind of what Jeff said. I'm going to give an honorable mention to just like a space heater, because I mean, just in general, nice little way. Because I got one. I've got one right here. I would reach for it. Can I get it to lift all the way up? Nope. Thank you. Okay. Its cord is caught under my desk. But I've got this, I think, during the pandemic, and I am so glad I did. It's been wonderful. It's a nice little extra source of heat that usually warms up this little office of mine. So honorable mention to the space heater. This one in particular has a nozzle, a little gauge in it to where if it tips over or tips back, if the gauge isn't properly set, it will immediately turn off.
Mm-hmm.
So
Safety mechanism.
that I love. Huh?
Safety mechanism.
Yeah, safety mechanism to so keep it so that it doesn't like stay on forever. And it does have an automatic, like once it hits a certain temperature, it does turn off. I love it. It's perfect. Great, great, great. Love it so much.
I would like to give an honorable mention to body heat.
I mean, fair.
And I don't necessarily, well, actually, absolutely mean somebody else's body heat, but just your own, because one of my favorite things, because I like going to bed just even in the coldest day of the year and absolutely nothing on and just allow my body heat to warm my bed.
Fair.
And I get all nice and cozy and just curled up. And the thing that's keeping me warm is my own body heat because it's being trapped by the blanket. And of course, if there was somebody else in there and that had some body heat, it would be even better.
True. Very true.
Moving on.
All right. And then last one is warm or hot drinks. Choices are cider, cocoa, or tea.
Hmm.
And the reason, just
Yeah.
so folks know, I went with tea instead of coffee is because most folks drink coffee as a pick-me-up. And this whole thing is about being cozy, not hyperactivated.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I had some coffee earlier today.
Right.
So I was like, tea is good because it could be herbal tea, could be, a non-herbal tea, doesn't necessarily have to be caffeinated. So it's a little bit
Right.
more like you think of a hot mug of tea, so to speak.
Right.
Damon.
So, of the three options, I went with cider. Um, there's something about a good warm, like apple cider, that's just perfect for like this time of the year. It it's great. It's not. It's usually not. I mean, it can be close. It can be a little sweet, but not overly sweet. It can. It just feels good, and especially around this time of the year, especially the fall winter era. Um, Great to just have a nice cup of warm cider or mulled cider or something along those lines. It just to a scent, smell, and kind of a sensation, then a warming feeling as you drink it. Yeah. Cocoa can be, for me, a little too sweet, and I am someone who um, grew up in a household where we always made it with milk. So we would warm up milk and like the hot cocoa powder packet and do it that way. Um, so doing it with water is not my fan, and that's the way a lot of other places do it. Yeah, it's so bad. God, I like getting. I will admit, I like getting cocoa from certain coffee places because they do also do it with milk.
Or some side.
And then tea is fine. Yeah, tea is fine. The good thing about tea is you can, like you were saying, you can get multiple different types, and that's sort of a good thing. You can get a really nice tea, but I prefer, if I were going to pick the two, it'd be cider. So. Gary?
So yeah, it's funny because you were talking about cider and it's that time of year. And I was mentioning at work with my boss actually about how we have a local cider mill. And when we were kids, all of us of a certain kind of age range, it was a big thing to go to the cider mill when cider was fresh, like to be made and, fresh pressed and all that kind of jazz. That they moved that location from where it used to be, which is why we were having this discussion, to a different location. And it's not that the other location's inconvenient, it's just beyond the major commercial strip area in my city that like you kind of have to go through to get to, or as my boss did, which was quite funny, was just take the highway and avoid that to get to it. So on Friday we had a divisional staff meeting. We have a new staff member that joined, and so I made a treat. And I had mentioned about how a couple weeks ago they did we have a staff engagement committee, and it's been better. A bunch of people are not on it anymore because of some things. I'm not going to air the dirty laundry here, but so notably, it's not as good as it has been. And they did a coffee and donuts thing recently, and I was like, coffee? Not everybody drinks coffee. Like, what the hell, people? Anyways, so it's just little things like that. And so someone was like, well, what would you have done? I was like, well, I probably would have done a variety of things. Like, I would have had a coffee and a tea, like, and cider, maybe, like some options for folks. And as someone pointed out, like, not everyone eats donuts, so maybe, like yogurt could have been a thing. But, you know, anyways, that being said, so for the staff engagement thing, that our own division for our meeting, they went and got cider, and they got the cider from the local cider mill, which made me very happy. And there was some left over at the end of the day, so I brought it home. So but cider to me is very time specific because
Right.
of growing up in this area. Like, yes, I could get it. Well,
Anytime.
I was just gonna say, I don't know if I can actually buy it year round. I know I can buy apple juice year round. I don't know if I can buy cider year round. But that being said, like, to me, it's very autumn seasonal kind of a thing. However, for comfort, it's a toss up between either cocoa or tea. Because I do enjoy tea over coffee if I'm gonna have a preference. I'm an herbal tea drinker. But the more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be cocoa, because I want, if it's cozy and it's comforting, like, especially when the weather changes and it gets to be that stuff that's gonna come soon that I'm not happy about. And there are drifts of it outside. Then yes, and it requires, apparati like shovels and boots and things. When I want nothing to do with it, if I'm gonna have a mug of something, I want some personally made hot cocoa from the stove. So I'm gonna heat up the milk. I'm gonna add chocolate and possibly put in just a teeny tiny dash of like vanilla. And depending on my mood, I might also add some booze. So probably some
That's
rum.
fair.
Maybe put some cayenne pepper in there, just a pinch.
Yeah, it really kind of depends on the mood that I'm in. That's what I love about cocoa, is like, you can make it extra rich and like really super chocolatey. If you're into it, it's not necessarily my thing. You could put a little mint in it. Like, you could put peppermint. You could like melt some other like candies or things for flavoring. Cinnamon, sure. Like, there's absolutely, like, kind of the sky's the limit depending on what your mood is when it comes to
Right.
that. And the irony to me is, we grew up in the era of like Swiss Miss hot chocolate. Being able to make it at home was a thing. And then having the marshmallows was like, the bougier, better version of the instant hot cocoa, was to get
Right.
something with marshmallows. But man, they just don't make that stuff the way they used to. I
No,
don't think.
they don't.
And so it's just not it.
Either they make it the same and we've just grown out of it, or it's not made the same. And I think it's the latter. I think it's they make it different than they did now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that.
So I'm not a person who needs the marshmallows. Especially probably at least a good 10 years or more ago, I got super pissed because I was having this nostalgia moment, and I got like Swiss Miss, like extra dark cocoa with marshmallows or something, and I made it in the mug. And those damn teeny tiny little marshmallows, first of all, they were like less than the size of a human tooth, which was very annoying. And then on top of it, they just disintegrated. Like, they just melted away within like 10 seconds. And I was like, well, I thought I was going to have marshmallows, but I guess I don't. I get that. That's not a thing. I was like, really? So it really just kind of like soured me on that. I'm like, no. I'll just pour some extra cream in it and call it a day.
Right.
All right.
So yeah.
So for me,
Yes, Jeff.
I had one answer, but after so far the discussion, I think I might be changing it for a reason.
Ah.
So
Okay.
I will say this: I like all three. I definitely like all three. They're all very cozy for different reasons. Sometimes I just like, even my coffee, I always get the chocolate creamer that makes it taste more like hot cocoa. And my favorite culinarily speaking fruit, because we already talked about my favorite botanical fruit. But is apples. I grew up with my mom making a whole bunch of different apple type dishes. She had this apple crisp, she called it, where it was just like apple pie filling with I think it's called something else actually, with just like a sugar crumb crust. You know what I mean? On top.
Yeah.
And it was just my favorite. I love apple pie filling, and I like, you give me like an apple hand pie, like from Hostess or something. It's I absolutely love it. And I loved it when it came around to fall and apple cider. In fact, keep seeing it at Kroger even, having those half-gallon jugs of apple cider available. And it's a great treat. And I am a cheap motherfucker, so I like getting packets and powdered drinks that I end up mixing. I don't microwave any of it. I use my electric kettle. Thank you, Gary. To boil some water, put the powder into a mug and fill it up. I've got packets of apple cider. But and also grew up a lot. We were getting a breakfast of to move on to this another non-winter cocoa and like peanut butter toast. And dip the toast in and eat it. It's delicious. It's great. I grew up with that. Fond memories. But my mom makes a mix, which she refers to as friendship tea.
Oh.
And it is 3 parts iced tea mix, 2 parts tang, some cloves and cinnamon. I think cinnamon. I don't have the recipe right in front of me to remember specifically. With a little lemonade to taste, to provide a little bit of citrus taste to it. More citrus, I suppose, because tang is orange. And you mix it up, and it's just this great little tea mix that you can heat up and just put some boiling water in and mix it up, and it's freaking licious. So I was going to say cider because that's more of like a specialty. Like Gary was saying, it kind of is one of those things where it's like around autumn and winter, apple cider just is just very thematic. Not that I wouldn't have apple cider any other time of the year. But what was really cozy when I'm sick or something, that friendship tea hits the spot. I mean, it has the tang in there, which has some vitamin C, so that sort of thing. So I'm
Yeah.
going to opt for tea. Not to try to be different than Damon. But because memorably speaking, and what I have more often, I actually still have a little bit more left over in my of a mix I had. I actually my big old canister of a old canister of lemonade that I had I put my mix in to store it. I really need to get to have one of those things that kind of absorbs moisture. So if it sits there for too long, it doesn't start to be like I have to break it up and sticks and clumps and such.
Right. Yeah.
But I need to make some more, by the way. Although I should.
Yeah.
Although I
See-
still have plenty left. So
Yeah. Yeah. There is something comforting about like a nice like mug of tea. Like a nice like especially having something like kind of I want to say instant, but like that kind of like it's all kind of mixed together. You don't really need to add much else to it. It's very like comforting. Yeah, very comforting and very just like I immediately go to the like the feel of like holding a mug with two hands and just sort of like sipping. Like that feels very like
it's kind of like
warming the
this
hand.
combination of the hot liquid that goes down your throat, as well as getting the steam that go up into your nose and side to help hopefully clear out your sinuses a little bit.
Yep.
Something about breathing it in. So that's
aromatic.
Yeah. Also to kind of still go with the cider amount, the tea that I currently have bags for is apple cinnamon. So one of my favorite flavor combinations is basically the apple pie type stuff. So if I can get something with that flavoring for tea, is all the better. Add a little bit of sugar to it. That's all I need.
Yeah, like a good chai, just around this time of the year, like a warm chai. It can be pretty good depending on what you're getting and where you're getting it from. I almost got some when I was at the airport on the way home, but it was gonna it was at the airport, so it was gonna be a little pricey.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm good.
Nowadays, flying might be a problem.
Yeah, it's a good thing you got home when you did.
Yeah. We're gonna see what happens here. I have a trip planned in December, so we'll see.
In any case, we're not talking about
Cozy.
doom and gloom here. We're talking about being nice and cozy.
Okay, you two Mary Magdalens.
Well, I don't know about you, but I think that's the end. Aw. How cozy. Which of these do you find most cozy? I know, you probably think a lot of these things are all well and good and all pretty good. Just there's got to be something that's just touch better. Tell us. You can do that in plenty of ways, such as going to our website, cubsoutloud.com, leaving a comment on the blog. Shoot us an email, cubsoutloud@gmail.com. Leave us a voicemail, 361-COL-TALK. That's 361-265-8255. Follow us on Blue Sky, Facebook, Tumblr, right here on YouTube at Cubs Out Loud in the appropriate place of the URL. You can also join our Entourage chat on Telegram at bit.ly/telegram-COL. You can subscribe to our Google Calendar to find out when we're planning and recording these shows when we know ourselves at bit.ly/calendar-COL. You have various accoutrements At a Zazzle store at zazzle.com/cubsoutloud. We're all wearing something. I got a logo sweatshirt. I've got a V2 logo t-shirt. Gary's got a hat. Got a Consensus My Foreplay sweatshirt. We got a whatever the Cubs say. We got mugs. Not just regular mugs, but also soup mugs and chili mugs. Two things we talked about earlier. Some of this is designed by Smashy. You can find more of his work at tpublic.com/user/SmashyTheBear. Please support his work as well. You can also support us by going over to Patreon at patreon.com/cubsoutloud or sending us a donation at paypal.me/cubsoutloud. We appreciate everyone for their support. You can find us on the various podcasting platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon. And you can find me anywhere on the internet as Box Cub. Box Tech's not really much being used much anymore besides checking on other feeds. So, but Box Cub. Damon.
Yeah. If you wish to get in touch with me, you can find me as TheaterCup79. That's TheATRE79. TheATRECUB79 on most bear-related sites. You can find me as Pup Umbra79 on Blue Sky. That Blue Sky is not safe for work. For the safe for work stuff, you want to go to DMAGamer79 on Blue Sky and TikTok. Gary?
If you would like to get in touch with me, you can pretty much find me anywhere online as GareBear73.
And with that, say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Have a good one, y'all.
Goodbye. Ooh, be comfortable.